Hi, and welcome to my show. In today's video, we're going to go through Bitcoin's recent price action and key indicators that tell us that although we're still chopping to the right, we are nevertheless moving into a breakout to new all-time highs. So, without further ado, let us get started. Please like and subscribe. It just tells me that this information is meaningful to you and you gain value, and it encourages me to make more content for you. All right, let's get started. All right, so we'll take a look at Bitcoin's chart. As you can see, we're at about 66. We're trying to break through to 67,000. At the time of when I was preparing for this video, it was at 67. So it's dipped a little bit, but once again, that's normal. And keep in mind, yesterday everyone was so excited. The market was, rallying up, as you can see all these green candles. But we tested, I believe, at around 73,000. Can you see my screen? So once again, nothing to be concerned about. It's normal. Yesterday or today, depending on the time of this video, we did continue to see an enormous amount of inflows into Bitcoin. $113.5 million worth of new value, new money coming into the Bitcoin market and ecosystem, and therefore, consequently, it has an effect on the other crypto tokens that we're all holding, and I hope you're holding. So it has a great impact overall, even though many of these buyers are holders. Right? I've covered this in previous videos, but because of the demographic, like age group that most clients for these big institutional funds, they're normally, it's typically like your baby boomers. So they're not looking to really sell. They're usually looking to hold long term. But okay, this is what I wanted to show you. Let's back up for a second. So there's something called the CME Gap. And, I've heard it said several times, but I wanted to get the definition for you. So CME is a gap. Sorry, I got something. CME is a gap that happens between market close on Friday. So it stands for Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And it basically just represents the gap between Friday market close, when the markets close, and the opening price on Saturdays. So there's a time gap, right, and price gap. And I guess, some were saying that there was the potential for Bitcoin to fill this gap. And if it did, then we would be breaking out. So once again, all these patterns. And another pattern for you, there's something called the parabolic curve. I also Googled it for you because there's so many terms in crypto, and I'm not a pro trader. I know how to trade. I primarily swing trade. But what I actually primarily do is I just hold, right? I buy great tokens at a great price when I hear about them, and then I share them with you. So I'd encourage you to like and subscribe and join my Telegram community, because that's where I share a lot of the information and the deals, which we call alpha in crypto. I share it in my Telegram group. And I have a whole team dedicated to help you. So yeah. But anyway, what this curve stands for, as you can see, is that despite all the dips, at certain points, we're still bouncing up and establishing new lows, is what they say. And so based on where we're at now, it looks like we're projected to bounce up to continue what looks like a parabolic curve. And I Googled it, but basically a parabolic curve is just a curve that looks like this. It's like a very symmetrical half U-shaped curve. So like if we were to draw the other side of it, it would make a perfect U. And it's just a term in trading that refers to the fact that a chart, right, or a market that's represented on the chart has moved a great distance in a very short period of time. So And because it moves so fast, it ends up resembling a parabola. And yeah, so that's some bullish news. And then another indicator, so that's what this whole episode's about, it's just primarily market updates, is that there have been many sellers panic selling at this new top, right? And what does that tell us? It tells us that the market is scared, and that because we had just experienced a dip the days before this, earlier this week, that as soon as we went up, everyone that was like terrified and holding on the way back up just decided, like, this is too scary for me, I'm going to take my money, And so it's really an indicator of fear in the market, but it's also an indicator of another bottom being close. So once again, it's like going on a roller coaster. Before you take off, everyone's like terrified and yelling, and there's like a few ups and downs before it really takes off up, right? And then there is a down, but not yet. And according to my research yesterday, after I made the video for you guys, because I just kept, researching, yeah, it looks like we're projected to go into about a year of a bull run. So once we take off, we're just like in the beginning part of like a roller coaster. But once we actually pop off and take off, then we're looking at about a year of a run up. But also keep in mind that just because we're on a run up doesn't mean there's not going to be little corrections along the way. Those are just small dips. And those are the opportunities you use to buy more of the tokens you believe in. That's when you buy more Bitcoin. That's when you buy more Avalanche. That's when you buy more, whichever are your top, preferred tokens and coins. And please let me know which they are in the comments below. I'm happy to look into them for you. I don't only want to talk about the tokens I believe in, although I have shared a lot. I've pretty much covered the main tokens I believe in. So if you want to know which tokens I'm bullish on, just go look at my previous videos. I don't want to sell like I'm shilling or like I'm trying to get you to come buy the tokens I'm talking about, because it is important for you to make your own decision. But, it doesn't take a genius to realize which tokens all the top crypto influencers are backing, or supporting. That's how you say it. And the tokens that I'm supporting are a combination of the tokens that top influencers are supporting, because that's a no-brainer. It tells you that these tokens are going to explode. They're going to pop. They're going to pump, because they have very powerful people with enormous communities backing them. So when they say go, everyone goes, So these tokens are going to fly. That said, and I've said it in previous videos, we also don't know when these top crypto influencers are going to sell. And I don't think they're just going to dump all their tokens, which means sell all their tokens, but they're going to do it in tranches. And every time they do, they're whales. That's what we call them. They're big investors. It's going to affect the market a little bit. But once again, because we have a year to go, it's nothing to be scared of. When the price dips on these top tokens, and I'll be sharing a list soon, just been updating it recently, and I was sick for a few days, so I'm just kind of coming back. Check out my list. I'm going to share all those details with you. But anyway, let's keep going. So that's that. Next, this is a little bit more information on what I was sharing with you yesterday, which is that the data shows the US government often sells at local lows in the market. So when we were experiencing these lows these last few days, we discovered yesterday, and I published this yesterday, I think we discovered it shortly before I made the video, of course, but that the US government, and this isn't good or bad news, I'm just sharing the news with you right now so you're aware of what's going on in the market and you can start to become familiar with trends, what, like when this happens to the market. Like when, just I'm trying to help paint a picture for you. So we see that 2 days ago, the government sold 1,999 Bitcoin, valued approximately at $130 million from a wallet associated with Silk Road, as I mentioned in my previous video. I won't go into it too much this time, but Silk Road was, like a black market online on the dark web, where, I don't know if it was on the dark web, but it was online, and you could only buy using Bitcoin. And that's how Bitcoin first really got its, use. But anyway, it looks like they didn't sell everything in their wallet, because we can see what's in their wallet. That's what's fantastic about blockchain, is that in Bitcoin, because it's decentralized, nobody owns Bitcoin, you can see what's in everyone's wallet. As soon as you know what their wallet ends in, you can't see the whole number. Otherwise, you could hack the person. Well, sort of. You could work backwards. But you can see the last 4 digits, the first 4, I believe, and the last 4 digits. So they didn't sell everything, but historically, I guess, in this article, I can link it below, or let me know if you want to see it. Historically, this is something the U.S. does. It says right here, the sale aligns with the government's ongoing strategy of gradually offloading seized Bitcoin holdings. So when they seize money, it seems like it's just their protocol. They go ahead and sell some of it. And they've done this before as well in 2023. So last year, they sold about 10,000 BTC at a price of 21,500. So normal process for the US government. But the next chart I find extremely interesting, and I want to share with you. It says that this guy is saying, right, Plan B. He's actually a big thought leader. I'd recommend you go follow him on Twitter. It says, don't let these little dips distract you. Bitcoin is in bull market mode. And then it just parentheses, it says second red dot. So there's a whole video you can go watch on this. But where are we now, right? Like we look at the years below, we are at 2024, you go up. And there's 2 red dots. And historically, the red dots have meant bull market. So as you can see now, we're on the second red dot, which clearly implies, and here's that parabolic curve I was talking about. Can you see my mouse? This is us going up. So it's time, once again, to get into your position. Know what tokens you want to buy and get ready. But okay, so this is another very interesting chart. So today is just validation to you. I don't want you to be scared. I don't want you to go sell your Bitcoin. Okay, you're selling your future when you do that. It's not financial advice, but don't do that. Don't do it. And keep in mind that even though Bitcoin is a little expensive right now, consider the curve, okay? Like if we're on the second red dot right here, and we're clearly on a parabolic curve up, it's going to be even more expensive soon. I would not play with Bitcoin. I would only be buying Bitcoin. Don't short it and don't long it unless you're going to stay awake and watch it. If you're going to be babysitting your long positions, then go for it. If you're not, it's just not worth the stress, personally for me. But that's your call. All right, so this chart is extremely interesting. So there's a company called Galaxy Research, and the founder or the CEO, his name, he's one of the biggest voices for Bitcoin, top I believe he seeded, I use these terms carefully, okay, I'm not exactly sure. I just know that he was one of the main investors that helped fund Ethereum in his early days, like when Vitalik was just getting started. It was, what is his name, Mike Novogratz, the founder and CEO of Galaxy Research, that funded him. So he's quite the thought leader. There's so many funny memes and videos on him taking Bitcoin to the moon if you Google Mike Novogratz. But this is a research analysis on behalf of Galaxy Research that basically organizes or categorizes Bitcoin's movement according to hype, as we see here, number one, 2, disillusionment, and 3, accumulation. So let's zoom in on it. Can you see? So this is, I'm just blocking the last bottom part, but don't worry. So this is what you can see in yellow. This is what hype looks like. This is what a bull run will look like. It's just like up, 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 up. Okay. It's crazy. Disillusionment. So once again, hype is very dramatic and volatile, and it doesn't mean there are no dips. It just means that everything's very dramatic. Disillusionment looks a little sad. It looks like not very much. It's not going really up. It's not really going down. I mean, it's in general going down. There's a general, like if you look at the starting point and the ending point, there's a general downward slant motion, but it's still squiggly all along the way, right? With some like bigger dips. Accumulation phase, which we are in now, is the opposite of the previous phase. It's a lot of squiggly, so it's not dramatic. It's healthy, but it's on the way up. And that's where we are now. We are the purple line. And that's where we are. So overall, once again, more validation to you that everything is okay. Don't worry, don't panic. Don't sell your Bitcoin. Hold on to it. Just forget about it. You own it. That's it. Close your short positions. It's not financial advice. All right. And then some very, very, very interesting information. Man, I feel like there's so much to unpack here. Have you seen them? I don't know if you've seen the movie. There's a movie called on Netflix, Eat the Rich. 1000% recommend you go watch it. I've watched it like 3-4 times. Very interesting. And it's basically about what happened with GameStop. GameStop was a stock that was dumping. It was on the decline. The company was going to have to, I think, declare bankruptcy or something. It's during the rise of the digital, era where everything was, you could just download video games online. You didn't have to go to your local video game shop and like rent a DVD or a disc anymore. You could just download it. So when this transition was happening to the digital world, GameStop, the company, was going out of business. And anyway, Wall Street started shorting it. They started betting against GameStop's success. They were like, it looks like they're going down, so we might as well make money off of them betting that they're going to go down, because you can make money shorting, right? Like if you know for sure a certain stock is going to go down, then you short it and you can make money on the way down. So what's happening right now is that hedge funds are shorting Bitcoin. Like, why? That, to me, and I think to many in the crypto space that even know more than me and are like more knowledgeable on crypto, but to me, just quite obviously, it just says there's a fundamental lack of education and knowledge in the traditional finance, which we call TradFi, means traditional finance. I think there's a general lack of knowledge, information, and education and awareness of Bitcoin. Because remember, even though they've been at the top forever, right? Like Wall Street, stockbrokers and hedge fund managers, but Bitcoin's new to them. Bitcoin's like a whole new language. It took me like a year to become fully versed. Mind you, I was like working in, for like a venture studio that required us to understand the technology. So that was like next level standard that I had to live up to in order to do marketing for them. But anyway, it's interesting that they'd be shorting Bitcoin, because it just shows like, do they not understand it's programmed to go up in value because it's inherently deflationary. There's going to be less and less Bitcoin created, with each passing halving. So it's just very interesting that they would do this. It just shows more their ignorance than anything. That's all. All right, some very exciting news, just to increase your faith once again on the fact that Bitcoin is going nowhere. It's actually only about to completely fly. Is that Morgan Stanley, the bank, is wants to be the first US bank to fully approve Bitcoin ETFs for advisors to proactively offer it to any client. So you can walk into your bank and Morgan Stanley, right? Like, will be able just to, like, the advisors will be able to sell you Bitcoin. They are in a race with UBS, the other bank. Both are going through compliance process now. And the first major broker to approve will likely lead to all doing the same. So this is like domino effect. You know, as soon as one of these banks gets approved, you can just expect all the banks to be offering Bitcoin soon. Like to your mom, to your grandma, like going to the bank, they're going to be offered Bitcoin. How wild is this? All right. And this is very interesting as well. I want to go read more about it because it looks like 930 billion DSW partners with Galaxy Digital to launch a physical Bitcoin ETC in Germany. Next, what's absolutely incredible to me is that there's this like one, you know, like Bitcoin miner, Hoot 8 reveals that big banks are starting to reach out to buy Bitcoin or BTC directly from miners. So like the human beings who sit at their computers and have to process and work on algorithms every single day to solve an algorithm, because that's how every block in Bitcoin's blockchain is confirmed and locked with all the transactions that happen during that block. And the way it happens is that there's like mathematicians sort of like, actually don't know exactly what they do, but they have to solve a math problem. But I know that they use a program to help solve the math problem, because every block, as I was saying, comes with one very complicated math problem. And there's miners all over the world. Like think of a net, and everywhere like the net connects, right? There's like little nodes all over the world. And, you know, we're doing transactions like buying, selling Bitcoin. Every time you see all this Bitcoin activity happening, it's getting locked into one block, but it's not confirmed, and no one is paid. The miners that are working on these algorithms are called miners, once again. No one's paid until one of the miners solves the problem. And then there's some consensus mechanism, which means there's some like agreement process that happens with all the miners, and it's confirmed. And then that block is locked. This was a very, very high level explanation, mind you. But so it's interesting now that banks are reaching out directly to these guys and just offering to buy their Bitcoin from them. Like they're going straight to the source now. It's crazy. And this is just to remind us, we are 16 days, 17 hours. This is a little dated now. Let's find. It is now, because this was my news from late last night, but I was way too tired. As I said, I've been getting over being a little sick this last week. So it's now 14 days to the next halving. Outrageous. And what's very, very, very interesting is that the date it's going to land on is what is called a palindrome date. And a palindrome date is when a number is the same, like forward and backward. So it's 4/20, like April 20th. Like this couldn't have been a better joke. I swear everything is so coincidental with Bitcoin. That's why they think it was like an alien, or no one knows who the creator of Bitcoin was. His name was Satoshi, you know. So the date is such a coincidental date. It's 4/20, which of course we know is like the abbreviation for marijuana. So it's 4/20 on 2024. Coincidence? I don't think so. Everyone now that has been laughing every time I point at like, oh, it's 11/11. or I see, because I see numbers everywhere, shouldn't laugh anymore, because now you see it's proof. It's in the date of Bitcoin's halving. Very interesting. Okay, some more news on Bitcoin. It says the state of Louisiana, with a unanimous 103-0 vote, passes a bill to protect your fundamental Bitcoin rights. Out to the State House. This is amazing. Louisiana is taking decisive steps to safeguard the freedom of Bitcoin related activities within the state. Upon enactment, this legislation will explicitly ensure protection for the guaranteed right to purchase Bitcoin, your freedom for Bitcoin mining. It's amazing. Amazing. The right to self-custody your digital assets, and the freedom to operate a full node, which is once again where Bitcoin mining happens. Louisiana stands at the forefront of a pioneer movement that upholds your Bitcoin rights. This is so good to hear. Spearheaded by Republican Mark Wright, bolstered by the robust support of the Pelican Institute, a groundbreaking bill has strongly advanced through the Louisiana House. Envision a future where your Bitcoin rights are permanently embedded into legislation, positioning Louisiana as a haven for digital currency innovation. This is so great. I'm so happy finally one of the states in the US is finally, becoming more progressive, and with this like movement of the future, like there's no going back. No Pandora's box, like in Greek mythology, where like, I don't know who it was, open Pandora's box and like there's no going back. That's Bitcoin. Now that the ETFs have been approved, there is no going back. I mean, Bitcoin could potentially help solve wars, because why would nations go to war with another nation when they know that part of the networks that help secure Bitcoin's network? And if they're holding Bitcoin, which if anyone knows anything, knows they should be holding Bitcoin, like why would they go hurt a country that's holding some, some miners like facilities to mine Bitcoin? Like they'd be hurting themselves by doing that. There's a whole theory on that. There's a video by Michael Saylor. He's the founder and CEO of, what is it called? Grayscale. One of the first to get the Bitcoin ETF approved. Amazing. But anyway, Bitcoin's amazing. I'm so happy, because I just was worried that all the top leaders and thought leaders and, financial, important people were going to be leaving the US because it's not crypto friendly. Like, what is the US thinking? It's going to lose so much wealth. Everyone's moving abroad. I know I live in Thailand and people are leaving. Like, they don't feel safe in the US. And I'm not talking, I love the US, but it's sad that it hasn't been able to level up. I mean, China is like, China has its other, issues, but it's already pushing for its digital yuan, which other countries are. Like, the US needs to catch up. And I think it's because it really just needs, maybe the US government needs a branch of like digital assets. It needs some congressman to come in that has that background, that can help lobby the other congressmen, and then the House. Just educate them. It's like they're scared of it. People are scared of what they don't know. So, and not everyone's evil. Sometimes you're just ignorant. So anyway, it says, however, success is not guaranteed as the bill progresses to the Senate. The call for community backing is more critical than ever. So if you live in Louisiana or know anybody, try to find a way to support or help somehow. It says your involvement, whether through advocacy or financial support, is crucial. To champion this bill's advancement, please consider making a donation today. I don't know where the donation would go to. I know that unfortunately you often have to lobby, which means basically pay different people, the government, to pass your bill. which is why people say the government's corrupt, right? That's a whole other conversation. I almost worked on the Hill, actually, but which means Washington, D.C., but it just didn't feel like a fit for me. So I ended up in crypto instead, and here I am talking to you. Anyway, so let me know if you want to read more about this, but also just go Google it. It's Louisiana approving a bill to protect fundamental, like its communities' fundamental Bitcoin rights. So this is very exciting. I hope it's the beginning of a change in the US where they become a little bit more open and flexible, and if anything, do it because they want to remain number one in the world, because they're starting to lose their position, you know? Yeah, I mean, Dubai is so progressive. Even Thailand is crypto progressive. Like, I don't think the US realizes that other nations are rising to the top, which is usually something that happens when someone's at the top. They're so blinded by their power and their ego that they forget there's little guys that are also, they're even hungrier than they are, and they start to like compete at a higher level. So I just hope the US wakes up, because they're about to get taken over by the other like nations that are willing to be innovative. You know, I don't know what happened. The US was supposed to be like the home of the free, land of the brave, and like it was always a symbol of innovation. And then I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know what happened. Anyway, this tweet, we're going to end with this. Okay, and then I'm just going to show you two cool tools. I wish I could do tutorials for you. It's just these videos are very long. So I'm thinking of dividing my videos, one into just market updates and then one into like a tutorial every day, or a few, depending on how long it takes. But it's just a lot to put into one video. But I promise you I'm getting more organized, and I'll be back. I'm going to push for Monday to be back and start organizing my information to you a little better, so that if you want to go learn about something, you can go here. If you want market updates, you go to this playlist, you know? Anyway, I'm working on it, guys. Don't worry. All right, so this post is money. Go follow my partner, Kyle Chasse. He's founder and CEO of MV Global and Paid Network. That is one of the top launch pads that only launches premium and good projects with real teams and real technology and projects that are going to change the world. But this tweet is everything. Okay, this is your roadmap, guys. And I'm going to be doing a collab with Kyle. We just are both kind of working around the clock right now. And so he sleeps when I'm awake, and then it's like crazy right now. But that's a bull run, you know? But we are. So we'll talk about this more when we do. But it says, if I was looking to turn $10,000, 10 to 100, to like grow it 10 to 100x, or like times 10 or times 100, then what I would be looking carefully at using, so then I would be, okay, start over. If I was looking to turn $10,000 and multiply, right, into like times 10 or times 100, then I would be looking carefully at using the following tools and platforms. 1, DexCheck_IO. It tracks smart wallets and what they're buying. So so it has an algorithm, and it knows which wallets are buying like good projects, and it will tell you, it'll show you, so you can track those wallets and what they're buying. Because if they're buying it and they're considered to be a smart buyer or a smart wallet, then you know chances are there's something behind this token. You can go look into it, and if you want to buy, then you do, you know. But it's a really good indicator. The next one is called birdeye_SO. And this one follows smart money, as I was telling you. So you can filter tokens. So they're slightly different. And once again, I would encourage you to go check them out so you can just see for yourself. And so this filters tokens according to variables that show if they might explode soon. So it has its criteria and its algorithm to tell you, you know, whether a token's going to pop off or not. And then he says he'd be using DEXs, or decentralized exchanges, like Jupiter and Radium on Solana, because they're cheaper and they allow you to play on chain. And this is awesome because that's where your gains are made, right? And then there's Banana Gun Bot. I actually hold some of Banana Gun. I bought it a long time ago before I started making videos. Okay, so, and I haven't sold any. So it's a trading bot that allows you to snipe and set on-chain limit orders and sell orders. So very, very, very useful. So it's easy. It's just a bot. Programming. The next thing would be to create a base wallet. I went into this in a previous video. Go check it out. Let me know if you have questions in the comment section. And this basically, you know, and then bridge ETH to base and start checking out, start diving into the base ecosystem. I shared all those links in that previous video. So if you have questions on how to move, it's a tutorial, like how to, you know, buy on base, how to convert your Ethereum from ETH, from Ethereum's network over to base. Like I show you step by step how to do it. Anyway, and then this last word on what it's all about, you know, he says succeeding in crypto, and I completely agree. It's about constantly upskilling, which means learning and utilizing the latest tools to maximize your profits. If you enjoyed this list, please repost, drop a heart, and let me know which ones you found interesting. So I did, and I will be reposting. Just a quick view. This is what the tools look like. This is Bird Eye that shows you where like big people with a lot of money, whales we call them, right? Where they're moving their money. And you can see like right now, if I zoom in, right, there's like, it just depends on the time of day. It's crazy. But Avalanche is doing huge. Arbitrum. Like, whoa. All right, guys. This is dexcheck.ai. Awesome. But anyways, guys, this was a update market sentiment, Bitcoin perspective, and indicators update for you, so you can feel encouraged that you're doing a big and bold step in your life. Bitcoin is scary, crypto is scary, okay? I don't know if it ever goes away. Like I check and double check before I do every transaction, and that's the fear you need to have. It's a healthy fear, because if you lose your money, that's it. Like unless you're working with a centralized exchange, sometimes they have great customer service and they can help you get your money back. But also keep in mind that many centralized exchanges have been hacked, because we're talking about technology from the future and the personality types that are in this space. So welcome if you're here. You're in like the top 0.01% of the world. So you're very, very early. So don't feel like, you know, I don't know enough and everyone knows more than me. And no, don't worry. I want to start doing live shows just to help answer your questions. I just need to organize myself a little bit because I travel quite a bit, and this means that the hour would fluctuate. I could not commit to the exact same hour every day, which I know is going to kind of suck for you guys, but let me figure it out. I can do like maybe 2 times a day or something, because I feel like it's hands-on help that everyone really needs. And a lot of these questions you ask, like I can't just explain it in a message. Someone needs to show you, you know? So anyway, I am working on how to do this better for you guys. I'll be back on Monday. I should be back 100% healthy on Monday. And in the meantime, don't sell anything over the weekend. It's always a volatile time. It's not financial advice, but just don't, okay? And enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you here next week. We have about 2 weeks to the halving, which technically, historically, kicks off the bull run. So you're still in time. Be doing your research. Yeah, go watch my previous videos. Go watch Kyle Chassez's previous videos on YouTube. Kyle Chassez, like you can Google it. I share on my previous videos as well. But anyway, love you guys. Take care. Talk to you soon.